Hi, my name's Claire, and I'm looking forward today to telling you all about the most amazing app called iNaturalist. It is a wonderful tool. It's been used all around the world, invented in the States, but used everywhere today. It's super valuable for lots of reasons. One of the reasons that you might like it most is that it helps you identify species. But also, you can make a wonderful list of what lives in your backyard all around you. And from my perspective as a scientist, it's an absolutely brilliant tool for science and nature conservation. For now, let's just go for the easiest option, the most handy, which is using it on our phones. So first off, we're going to have to download the app. So if you're on an iPhone, that's to go to the App Store. And if you're on Android, that's to go to Google Play. And we go to the search thing and enter iNaturalist. Search for that, and if you haven't already got it, that will invite you to download it. In my case, I've already got it, so it's open. And then once you've downloaded it, then you'll see it as a little green bird against a white background on your screen. You'll first off, before you need to start, you'll need to register and give a bunch of details. But once that's all set up, then you're ready to actually start using it. And it really is pretty simple. So open it up and let's make our first observation. So here's a nice flower. Let's try and find out what that is. I'm going to go to Observe on the iPhone or Plus on the Android. And I've got lots of ways that I can record this, but I'm just going to go for the most straightforward, which is easy for a plant, camera. And it just will go straight to a camera. Might ask for a few permissions first time off, but that's all good. And then we're going to zoom in, try and get a decent photo that everybody can see of the flower. That's great. I'm actually going to take several so that if somebody else is having a look, because that's the way this thing works, they can really get a decent idea of what this flower looks like. And I'm not a botanist, so I'm just going to try lots of different angles. But I'll definitely make sure I've got one of the whole plant so they can sort of see the size of it and what it generally looks like. All right. So that's a good range of angles on this plant. And as you can see when you scroll down, you can see that it's automatically recorded the time and the date. Because I'm in coverage, it's recorded where I am, actually the name of the suburb. If I wasn't in coverage, it wouldn't do that, but it will always have the latitude and the longitude, assuming I've given location permission, and that is really quite fundamental for this app. There are a few other bells and whistles which you can explore later, but the question I think most of us have right now, if we're not experts, is what is this plant? So let's go for what did you see? And iNaturalist now has so many images that have been identified by people that it's really good at coming up with suggestions. It varies in quality with the different groups of species, but this is a common plant and it's got a really good suggestion. Because I'm not a botanist and I don't know this for certain for myself, I'm not going to select the species that it's suggesting. I am going to go for the genus that it says. It's pretty sure. And that means that if anybody else is curious and helping identify, when they're searching through iNaturalist and helping to identify species for certain, if they're experts, then they'll just go, well, I'm a bit of an expert on this group of plants, and they can find it quickly and give us an exact identification. In the meantime, we're going to save this. And we'll upload it because we're in coverage and we can, but it all works absolutely fine if you're not in coverage. It's just that you can only upload it all once you're back in coverage. And leave that for a bit, and depending on the type of species, the level of interest, you may well get a suggestion or a reinforcement of what you thought it was. Really, could be the same day, could even be quite even more swiftly than that. So that's really nice. And as you'll see on certainly on my screen, there's a whole list of things, which is incredibly fun. See, some of these things I wasn't able to take pictures of, but some of them I've got recordings of, some of them I've taken pictures of and I've uploaded via my desktop later. it's great. I now have this record of all these different things I've seen and what they all are. So you've done your first observation, congratulations. I hope you found it as rewarding as I do. I've ended up with this huge list of species, although it's nothing to some people, but now I can see all these different species that I've seen. I can see a record of what they actually are, and it's super useful for me, and it's super useful for scientists and nature conservationists all over the world.